All right, good morning. What's up, guys? Okay, yeah, new victory, new win of Real Madrid, which is very important because we had to continue. We are walking forward to the 16th round after the victory against Shaktar Donetsk, another win, which is great with the big Rodrigo goals, a big attack, right? With Rodrigo goals and Vinicius Junior, not that great with Benzema, who was trying all the time to score a goal, but he couldn't for any reason. I don't know. He's probably going through that kind of, a number of games where you are doing pretty much every single thing, but you are unable to score a goal. Apparently, he's going through that. But anyways, it was a great game. However, let me tell you something. I'm still concerned about the lack of goal, man. I mean, this is starting to become a real issue for Real Madrid. What I'm seeing so far, what I'm seeing in the last two wins, specifically, not two wins, in the last two games against Osasuna, it happened the same. And I think I told you guys, every time we don't dominate and win the game in the last 45 minutes or something, later on, it's like the things get complicated, right? And it's even more difficult to overcome the game and try to beat the rival down, and that happened against Osasuna, and somehow it happened the same last night against Shaktar Donetsk. And the reason for that, it's because so as you saw, the game was again the kind of game that you can win easily, right? By 6 or 7 goals. The first 30 minutes of the game were just great. Real Madrid played whatever they wanted to play. They moved the ball, like combining among the players, with no problem. Shaktar Donetsk was just there not even smelling the ball. They were just watching around and that's it, because Real Madrid was controlling and dominating the whole thing, man. But, aside of the goal of Rodrigo, aside of the super goal amazing goal by Vinicius Junior with the super combination between the different players and stuff. Right after that, my question is, what happened? What happened? Because Real Madrid players, they kind of came down a little bit, right? They slowed down the pace of the game, and what we saw, it was the first goal of Shaktar Donetsk. And as of that moment, we saw a bunch of other opportunities for Shaktar Donetsk to draw the game. And I was kind of concerned and like, man, these guys are able to let the 3 points go. And I'm not okay with that. If you saw the Carlo Ancelotti, when Shaktar Donetsk scored the first goal, the first and the only goal, he was super mad at the players. He was in the bench like yelling and screaming like you didn't do something, or you didn't do whatever you had to do, or I don't know, but he was super mad at the players. I don't know who was screaming to, but he was completely out of control because he couldn't understand how a game like that, which is a game that you can win easily, and you are kind of with a super tight score with only 1 goal difference, up in the score for just 1 goal, it's like, man. Toni Kroos, right after the game, he said the same thing. It is incredible how we couldn't win by far, by 5 or 6 or 7 goals, because it was the kind of game you typically win like 3-0, 4-0 or something like that. So yeah, I can say a lot of good things for Real Madrid. In regards to the game yesterday, for example, Rodrigo is just incredible. This guy, every time he plays the Champions, man, is another guy, right? He's another player. He always scores, super dangerous. I like it. Tactical wise, let me tell you something. Tactical wise, we saw a very different Real Madrid. Reason for that is because last night, we didn't have to look at Modric on the midfield, right? Ceballos got injured in the last moment, so we had to arrange a lot of changes. So in the midfield, we saw theoretically Tchouaméni and Toni Kroos, right? But they weren't there. Tchouaméni, Toni Kroos, and Fede Valverde, but he wasn't really there, right? Fede Valverde was falling all the time to the right side, to the right wing, all the time, and Rodrigo I mean, as a result, Rodrigo had to move in, right more to the center, to the attacking midfielder position or second striker or whatever you want to call it. And that is when he scored the goal from, in that position, right in the line of the box, which was to me incredible, because Rodrigo, it is a way better player in that position rather than in the sideline. I mean, there's no point in having Rodrigo Goes right there, and he might become a very real, true number 9, man. We have to keep in mind Rodrigo Goes. For so many people out there, Rodrigo Goes should play in the right wing because he's the kind of player like Vinicius Jr., but in the other side. It's not just that. Or Carlo Ancelotti, what he's doing so far, it is utilizing the Rodrigo in a different position so he eventually can replace to Karim Benzema, who, by the way, wasn't very 100% great last night, right? He was trying all the time to score a goal, but he did have chances, right? But not many, and he like I said in the beginning of the video, he's going through something, I mean, probably a period of time that is not really worth it for him. And yeah, I know. I mean, he's not the player that he's supposed to be in these kind of nights, right? But anyways, the tactical wise is Rodrigo falling to the interior, right, of the field, Fede Valverde falling into the right wing, which is great, and then the midfield is gotta be occupied by Tchouaméni and Toni Kroos, right? And sometimes Fede Valverde will come back and help out to the midfielders, of course. So the attack of Real Madrid is just nuts. I mean, with Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo Goes, man, these guys can do whatever they want. I mean, Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo, they dominate the whole thing. So, do we have to still thinking about Kylian Mbappe? My opinion, my answer is no at all. I mean, we gotta forget Kylian Mbappe because he's the kind of player who would deliver nothing right now to Real Madrid, right? He's a great player. He can, perform at a top level, incredible level, but is not the kind of player which is very necessary right now for Real Madrid, as we already have those positions in the attack occupied by two great players, Vinicius Jr., Fede Valverde, and also Rodrigo Goes, and by the way, Benzema as well. So right now, Real Madrid would only be in need of a player like Erling Haaland. That's it. I mean, maybe number 9, but that's it, right? I mean, I don't think Real Madrid should be thinking about other players or something like that. So yeah, that's great, man. And as far as, for example, let me tell you something in regards to the goal of Shaktar Donetsk. I have to say, for example, last night I didn't see to David Alaba very spot on, right? I didn't see to Militao very concentrated. I mean, the defense is very soft sometimes, and I am missing the aggressiveness, right? Players like Sergio Ramos or even Pepe back in the day used to implement or deliver every time they had to perform, right? They were center backs more aggressive, more solid, right? And sometimes this guy, including Rudiger, are a little bit soft in the defense, right? So that's why I think that Shaktar Donetsk took advantage from it and they scored the goal. So yeah, I mean, it's great because we are like 5 points ahead of the second one. We're almost qualified for the 16th round. But of course, we have to keep in mind all the problems that pop up in every single game, as in the next eliminatories, for example, say, when you have to face off teams like, teams like PSG or Chelsea or Liverpool or something like that, they will score more goals. They are not Shakhtar Donetsk, so they will not forgive you if you are not able to score more than 2 goals, right? And you will have a hard time if you're not able to score more goals and try to take some advantage from them, because it's gotta be difficult, man. It's gotta be very way complicated, and I don't think that is going to solve any problem in the future. So we have to keep in mind all these kind of things that pops up every once in a while and say, okay, if we are not scoring too much goals or too many goals, we got to try to fix it up. If we are not assisting, if we are not dominating, if we are not doing this thing or this other thing, we got to keep in mind, and of course we have to fix it up, because as you know, over the next month, well, we won't have too many games, right, because we have the World Cup stuff, but I mean, it is a good thing if we start to solve a little bit more the things, okay? So yeah, that's it. I mean, that was the game. That is all about. And again, congratulations to the players. Everybody said that we should have scored way more goals, right? I mean, everybody was thinking that Real Madrid was going to score about I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 goals, something like that. But it didn't happen. I mean, the good news is the 3 points, the win. But it was a very, very tight score to me, as we should have gotten way more goals than 2, man. I mean, it's nothing. So we probably need a little bit more of fire in the attack. I don't know. It is something we have to think about. Let's see if Benzema can improve a little bit significantly over the next games and see what happens. Next game is against Getafe. And yeah, I think that we should try to score more goals and dominate the whole thing as of the first 45 minutes, okay? So, well, that was my analysis on the game last night. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. So, see you in the next one.